Hello, everyone. My name is Amol Nirgudkar. I'm the CEO of Patient Prism. I'm here with my good friend, Dr. Scott Drucker, the CEO and
Pleasure to be
founder,
here.
the CEO and co-founder of Supply Clinic. So, tell us, Scott, a little bit for our audience who doesn't know about Supply Clinic yet. What did you want it to solve when you started Supply Clinic?
Sure. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
So Supply Clinic started as an idea that came when I transitioned from dental school to residency. Had to buy some supplies of my own and stumbled upon a very opaque, very inefficient ecosystem where to find good pricing, I had to shop around a lot. There wasn't a good platform solution for purchasing. And so Supply Clinic started out of that need, out of that frustration, and started as a pure play e-commerce platform. So,
Okay.
place to shop and price compare different vendors. And as time passed, we realized that that solution is great for a single practitioner or a single office or maybe two offices, but doesn't quite scale to a DSO.
Okay.
Some of the tools and functionality is that a larger organization needs was missing, and so we built out a software called our ProSuite for procurement suite, in which we essentially organize and streamline the procurement process for a DSO for all of their locations, for all of their sellers. So in one motion, someone who's at the office who does the ordering, instead of calling a dozen or 2 dozen different places to process all those orders,
Yeah.
they can just log on to the platform, piece together a purchase order request, and send out a singular cart request. We have all sorts of budgeting tools, and there are approvals processes, and there's, formulary we'll load any formulary from any seller for a DSO, and we also have the option for DSOs that are interested in having the full marketplace available of flipping that switch on and making it available for them as well. So they have all of their uniquely negotiated pricing as well as access to the rest of the marketplace should they choose. And DSOs differ philosophically. Some say, hey, we want our practitioners to be able to purchase anything,
Whatever
and
they want, yeah.
who are we to tell the doctor what to use or not to use? And others have very well put together and thought through clinical committees where they're doctor run, and they come together and they say, hey, we're going to sort of standardize across and use specific items. And
So a classic disruption is going on in this space, right? Clay Christians at Harvard came up with the idea that value gets created when the players can come into an industry and provide better or higher quality of care at a lower cost. And technology is the enabler of that,
Sure.
right? It's the catalyst of that. And I think Supply Clinic is the prime example of how technology has driven the ability for you to move up market by providing faster, better, cheaper, and more customized and more tailored to the needs of an industry that badly needs to manage this well.
Absolutely, and the way I look at it is and this sort of speaks to the entirety of the DSO space. I'm a practitioner myself, and early on, say the DSO world was sort of a taboo subject, and the way that I see it, my philosophy is that dentists and practitioners are extremely good at the patient care that they were trained to do and are passionate about doing. They do not necessarily have a background in operational efficiencies and running
Supply
a business,
chains.
etc. Exactly. And so there's a whole support system essentially that's built and is now growing up around that. And I see, my goal is to build a set of tools and technology for best enabling those teams that enable the practitioner to deliver the amazing treatment that they do.
What are those intangibles that you're bringing to the DSOs that just cannot be quantified, but they're important nonetheless?
Sure. Yeah, I think a lot of the intangible boils down to time saved in processes. And so every step of the way, from the individual, say it's a lead dental assistant that's going and placing all the orders, to the receipt of the orders and marking things as received, to organizing data around purchasing, to actually going and paying out all of the different vendors. It's a process. When you think about a typical DSO is purchasing from close to 24 or thereabout different companies,
Right.
And to go through and to match every invoice, and to just collect everything from all the different locations for all the different sellers is a process and takes a ton of time. And so you're saving time for the lead assistant to be able to, or for whomever in the office, to do more of something else. You're saving time for your accounting and finance team. You're just
Right.
it's tremendous.
It is really, and I've done tons of interviews today, and over the last year, I've been talking a lot about coming out of the pandemic, about how do we create time for dental offices and team members to spend with the patients and not with the paperwork or the
Sure.
insurances or whatever that might be.
Yeah, yeah.
And unfortunately, we are as human beings, we only can manage what we measure, but sometimes things that we don't measure, we should measure. I encourage all you guys to visit supplyclinic.com and really figure out how Scott and his team have thought through the problems in a very intentional way. One problem is, yes, you need to save costs, but the other problem is you need to create time for your team members to efficiently and effectively manage your entire procurement process.
And one thing I'll add to that, Amol, is we work with a full spectrum of size and capability of DSO or group practice, and they're there's a step-by-step process that will walk, especially the emerging groups, through, that maybe they've never gone about an RFP before and put their book of business out to bid.
100%.
We'll walk them through. We'll provide the templating so that they can get that out, and maybe the seller that they're currently with is the best option, but just going through the motions, going through those steps, will create a more competitive formulary, right? And so there are lots of recommendations and guidance we'll give around change management, as an example, right? It's a the services provided by DSOs are wonderful, but they need to be delivered in a digestible way, right?
That's what I talk about. And DSO is a dental support organization. Means if you don't have a support organization, you're not a DSO. You're just a group of practices. You're not a group practice. And what you just talked about is the foundational. They are providing you the foundation of how to build that centralized infrastructure for procurement, right? Foundations of how to build the playbook, the RFP playbook, and how to think about this stuff. As you guys are thinking about growing your organization from 5 to 10 to 50 offices, these are the foundational bricks that you need to lay, so that eventually when you go out to market and you want to sell at 12 times earnings, people look at this stuff and say, what does your foundation look like? Or is it just the chaotic places where everybody's doing their own thing? There's all these chiefs and there's no Indians. We need that. Sometimes we need a bunch of Indians. We need a few chiefs up there, but you've got to have processes. And Scott, I can't congratulate you enough for truly thinking about this solution in a multifaceted way, and it's not about finding the best deal for that gauze. It's not about that, guys. It's about understanding the entire procurement process, because that's how the very large organizations are winning today, is by have a deeper understanding metrics of every aspect of that procurement process, and Supply Clinic has just democratized that for everybody else. So congratulations.
Thank you, Amol. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.